Free Japan Channel number 178. Today, March 19th, Thursday. The time is 6 p.m. Good evening, everybody. The night is already on in Yokohama. City lights are now shining. Beautiful night view, as usual. How are you doing, dear listeners? Today, I'd like to talk about U.S.-Israel relationship. U.S. is now dominated by Israel influence. I have to say that. As you know, the U.S. attacked Iran militarily this month. It was such high-tech weapon that U.S. military force devastated many places, military places in Iran. U.S. force even attacked primary school, girls' school, and more than 160 girls were killed by this attack. President Trump said that it was a missile of Iran which dropped on the school building. Therefore, it has nothing to do with U.S. military operation. But nobody believes such story. This war is waged not only by the United States, but also by Israel. When we look at the war of Israel against surrounding countries, for example, Gaza war, Israel military force, IDF, isn't hesitant to attack civilians regardless of the age, regardless of the gender. Israel military force, IDF, attacks and kills indiscriminately in Gaza, not only in Gaza, but also in the war against neighboring countries. In this sense, I have to say that Israel force is so brutal. Israel people don't regard Islamic people or surrounding people as humans. When we talk about war, we use a measure or yardstick kill ratio. In Israel war or Gaza war, for example, 1,500 people were dead on the side of Israel so far. And then, on the side of Gaza, more than 60,000. Therefore, on Israel, 1,500, so 1,500. And then, on Gaza, more than 60,000. Therefore, 40 times more in Gaza than Israel when we talk about the kill ratio. This is an atrocity of Israel against Palestinians. And this time in Iran also, attack against primary school reflects this cruel intention of Israel. This Iranian war itself is initiated by Israel, not by the United States. US has no national interest in Iran. Of course, the oil is very important in Iran or Iranian territory, but Iran has no military threat for a while to the United States. Look, For Israel, Iran is or has been the threat militarily, but for the United States, it isn't. Israel initiated this war, and they instigated the US government to wage the war on behalf of Israel. I can't understand why American people are now opposed to this war in the media or in the street, that they shouldn't be involved in the war of other countries. Yes, this is a war of Israel and Iran, not of the United States. Don't you think so? From this perspective, the United States is now spending huge amount of military budget for Israel and killing more than 1,400 Iranian people in a very brutal way. United States government is now remotely controlled by Israeli people. Don't you think so? But it's a very strange situation that such small country like Israel can control the United States, such a huge country. But this situation doesn't begin now. It began long time ago. Israel is a Jewish country, and these Jewish people are very dominant at first in Europe and then in the United States. Nazi Germany expelled these Jewish people from European continent, and many of the Jews went to the United States. And of course, other Jews went to Palestinian, establishing Israel. Therefore, not only in Israel, but also in the United States, there are so many Jews. The half of the total Jews are now living in the United States, and other half in Israel, approximately. And these people are so prominent in finance and in technology, in science. Therefore, the number of Jewish people is small in the United States, maybe 6 million or 7 million. However, these people are so powerful in the political arena or in the technological progress, as well as in the media coverage. Therefore, these people, Israel people in the United States, can control this government of the United States in favor of Israel. Mearsheimer, the former professor of Chicago University, said that we can't understand the US politics unless we see Islaeli Lobby in the United States. Islaeli Lobby is so strong in US politics, therefore we can't ignore it. Then we begin to understand why the United States is now waging the war, which is irrelevant to to Americans' national interest. This is a very pernicious situation for Israel to dominate the United States government. Therefore, of course, we cannot change this situation so instantly. This is so deeply rooted issue in the United States. But it is a first step that many people are aware of this existence of Islaeli Lobby in the United States politics. Then we understand the US behavior in the Middle East, including the Iranian war this time. Thank you.